This is a download from BFM 89.9, the business station.
BFM 89.9, the business station. Caroline and Ezra with you here on the evening edition.
What a track. What a track.
I know.
That solo at the end.
Very nice, wasn't it?
Very nice.
Okay, now music lessons, I suppose, at the core teach rhythm, pitch, harmony and timbre, but few people realize just how powerful musical intelligence can be and how far it can take us. So here to further explore the possibilities, we have Karen Ng with us.
Yes, Karen.
The co-founder of the Modern Music program, as well as a musical intelligence student, Andy Chia Kang Wei. Welcome. Very nice to have you here with us.
Okay, good evening.
All right. So let's start with the Modern Music program then, guys. Tell us, Karen, what is it about?
Well, Modern Music program is a kind of a program that to create musical intelligence, okay, from the age of 3 years old to 17 years old. So in this program, we have 3 stages of courses. Mainly the young kids from 3 to 6 years old, the kids from 7 to 12, and for the teenagers from 13 to 17. So for a different stage of learning, okay, we train the kids, okay, and our teenagers to discover the intelligence within themselves. Okay, so
and what do you find? What do you specifically mean by the intelligence of
within yourself?
Within yourself, or in terms of what does that mean exactly?
Okay, now for musical intelligence is one of the multiple intelligence. I mean, quoted by this psychologist called Harvard Gardner. All right. So now the so-called musical intelligence is actually the ability to be sensitive to pitch, rhythm, pulse, melody, expressions, and dynamic. So that's the most important thing in musical intelligence. Now, a lot of kids, well, they are learning music, okay? It's like most of more time, it's like a piece of paper of music, and the teacher will ask them to play. And when they play, nothing much about what's going on, what's the background of the music, what style is the music, what genre is the music. Most of the time, it was just a plain playing, and from note 1 to note at the end.
Sort of like a one-way traffic. You're not really understanding the piece,
Correct.
the tone, and the feel of the piece. Right.
And most of all, in modern music, the material that we use goes according to the time. For example, we are kind of a program that we start in contemporary music. That means, well, we use music that is popular at
everyday music.
Yeah, at present. Okay, for example, for kids, right now, for this year, I mean, we might play them some X-Men or Pirates of the Caribbean or things like that.
So to keep it current.
Well, if you give them a music, for example, now, you play them a music, for example, about 2-3 years back,
right.
Well, is that they won't react that well? I mean, or they don't really share.
There's no currency and familiarity about that.
Yes, every year has a different music. For example, last year, Wonder Girls, okay, nobody. I mean, if you teach them that, or teach them to dance or pitch or sing, I tell you they will go back and practice. There's no problem with that.
Yes,
but
because it's music that they're generally listening to anyway.
Correct. And this year, if you play that particular songs again, I mean, this year kids will probably tell you what is that. They'll say, okay, teacher, I listen to Kung Fu Panda.
Right. Okay. So, but specifically, what are we sort of teaching them, or what are we? I mean, we're not speaking. Are we talking about music lessons for specific instruments for respective students, or is it like a supplementary thing where they learn their instrument elsewhere? How does that work?
All right. Now, modern music courses comes in group setting. All right. So for our 3 to 6 years old, we teach them mainly on listening skills, percussion playing, pitching, singing, dance movement, and also a very easy compositional skills. Okay, so now what we want is, we don't want to stress the kid at this age.
At 3 years old, you can't stress them out.
We don't want. And most of all, I mean, we want to introduce to them the world of everything. It's like brass, strings, and everything, and let them explore every sound and their roles in music making. And from there, at the end of 2 years of our training, we will give them a report. And from there, we know that whether this kid is prone to keyboard or maybe string instruments or brass.
Do you find students that maybe they're not very musical at all, therefore that they best be focused on something else, or is it a case where everyone you can sort of identify whether they're musical at something?
Now, we do have kids that we need patience, right, to discover what is inside. But I believe that all kids have some
musical knowledge.
Yes, or maybe they will detest at very first. Some of them will cry in the class, or they will be so scared. But I believe that, in our class it works. I mean, we treat them, we train them slowly, and then we let them discover the fun of it. When it's fun, they will open their heart and then they will accept
3-year-olds who are banging,
Yes,
drums. That's always percussion. There's always fun.
Yes, correct.
Always. All right. More with children development through music in just a little bit. We'll be back after the police, spirits in the material world. Keep it here. BFM 89.9. BFM 89.9, the business station. Caroline and Ezra here with you on the evening edition, talking about children development through music with Karen Ng, the co-founder of the Modern Music program, as well as a student from the Modern Music program, Andy Chia. So Andy, tell us, how long have you been with the program for?
I've been with the program for 9 years since I started this program at 10 years old.
10 years old. And how long has the center been around for, Karen?
Okay, well, in fact, I started this program, about 12 years ago, alone actually. Because I teach students at solo, and I go to house visit and everything. I realized that I just don't want to be another teacher to teach as usual, I want my student to learn music one note by note. So I came up with my own kind of idea. Why not I teach them, okay, in the sense that I play accompaniment, and then I create some nice music at present time and ask them to play, and then get them to play rhythm at the same time, because I'm a percussion major, you see.
Right.
So, they play keyboard and chords, saying, children, listen to the bass, listen to the chord, listen to the melody line, please. And at the end of the day, I realized it works. A lot of my kids actually can play by memory. And
Do you find that this is the case, that traditional teaching methods are a bit more rigid? They're not very they don't sort of pay attention to these things until a later stage.
Perhaps not so open to experimenting.
Right. Because you seem to focus this at a very early age. I mean, not on the 3 and 6 year olds.
Traditional teaching methods, actually, it works actually, but not to the present generation. I can say that. I believe a lot of music teachers nowadays encounter the same problem. I mean, they will find out that most kids comes in and then they don't want to play and practice.
They're not excited by it.
Yeah, they are not excited at all because of the material. Most of it's what kind of I'm going for my music lessons again.
Yeah, I used to do that.
And they will it's like not kind of looking forward to it.
That's right.
So, yeah.
And Andy, when you started off, what was your general impression when you started? I mean, a 10-year-old, going to any sort of classes, swimming classes, music lessons, you know what I mean? Like, what was your general impression when you started?
Impressed by some music CDs that play from my parents and sisters. And I got impression with the move, with the styles, and the stunning skills, feeling that also. And when I 10 years old, I found Karen here, and she taught me a lot that, and I got interested on drums that time, and by the time she also showed lots of stunning stuff in front of me, so I just get lots of impression about it.
Yeah. So as a 10-year-old entering into the program, what are the focus points in terms of for that development of what musical intelligence?
During that time, when he's 10 years old, he was all the while a very shy boy actually. All right, now he don't express that much, but I can see that he can express a lot in his drumming.
Right.
So after that a long time, I realized he can compose his own music, and he can actually write his line and everything. In fact, now he's pursuing his own music education at MIA. So that I was very happy with some of my students that I train, and now they are like kind of 20 plus, and a lot of them are in local U or in Singapore U doing music. I realized that it's the whole journey that we go together with them, and it inspires them to go on and strike better. Far most of them are higher achiever than me now. They are in Birmingham's and everywhere. Well, this is such a beautiful thing actually.
Andy, what have you enjoyed so much about the experience? What have you enjoyed learning? What has been the most valuable part of being part of the program?
It just I try to practice all the things, and it's very hard for me, but at the end I can see my result is good, and I enjoying that moment. And enjoying the moment every time, every concert.
I think that's the key, right? When you're talking about children and music, it's all about having fun.
Yes,
it is, and that's an approach that a lot of folks. Of course, I think the classical approach, especially when you go through sort of a classical training vis-a-vis a contemporary training of music, with the classical music, there's a precision. There's something about that you need to adhere to. Whereas in contemporary music, in terms of the training of it, speaking with some experience of going through music myself. Like there is I guess, two different opposing views of how you would approach it.
In fact, classical is actually a very important part in music. I mean, we need to have classical, a training actually. But because of the reason, I mean, the generation nowadays, I mean,
not so much into Mozart.
Yes, but it was very important. For example, my own training, I started off with very contemporary training from my Japanese teachers and of my very nice. They are all concert pianists and everything. So they make me to play in a lot of occasions. Occasion, for example, grand opening. You can't possibly play Mozart. You have to play some very popular songs that people know. So from then, I was trained to play popular music and contemporary music. And when I reached at the middle section, that means when I reach about. After I came out, I went for college in music, and then when I entered university, I realized I have to understand classical, and that is very. I mean, it kind of flow inside of me. I love it. I mean, because I think I have the interest, and then the interest bring me to get into the difficult part of.
Yes. Well, I suppose it seems as though you're going about it the other way around. I suppose with your traditional music lessons, you learn the fundamentals first.
Right.
And perhaps for children, or certain children, it doesn't go in that easily.
Yes. Or, there's some sort of some sort of resistance that comes up in playing your scales and everything. But I think you probably need to still go through that at some point.
The interest is the one. We really need to instill the interest.
You want to cultivate that very early on.
Yeah, cultivate them. Yes.
Okay, children development through music. That's what we're covering this evening on the Evening Edition. We're heading in for the news in just a little bit. We'll be right back. Counting codes for now. BFM 89.9. Good evening. I'm Caroline O.
And I'm Ezra Zaid.
Making sounds in the corner.
Yeah, I thought I'm quite familiar with this job, but obviously not.
A little bit more practice, I think. All right, children development through music. We're discussing that with Karen Ng of the Modern Music Program, as well as, she brought with her Modern Music Program student Andy Chia, who is pursuing music at this very point in time. Okay, so back to the Modern Music Program then, Karen. You mentioned a little earlier that there are a few different types of courses targeted at different age groups. Tell us about the lesson structures for these age groups.
For the 3 to 6 years old ages, we branch out to the preschool, the kindergartens for lessons. The reason why is because, we have a kind of the duty for me, I have a vision that every kid in Malaysia, at least, or that is in preschool, within the time of 7:30 to 2 o'clock at the school time, okay, they have an external program that comes in and enrich them in their performing art. So this is for the 3 to 6 years old kids for the preschool one, all right? So there,
I kind of like the vision. I like the vision of because especially at a young age, from 7, the long hours at school.
Yes.
A little music, a little arts and dance.
Just to shake things up.
Yes, absolutely.
Reason is because, instead of just singing songs of the few lullaby that they always learn, and then maybe they were most of them. In school, in kindergarten, they are doing just singing or maybe just easy movement, not much into serious understanding of music. So it's like we will go in and then we will teach the kids, hey, children, listen, then we will play you how to express yourself. What is the color of this? What is the music? What is the mood of the music? What is the tone? Is it dark or is it high? Or ask them to listen to chords, listen to everything. So at least at this point, at 3 to 6, because their listening skill are at their most top level. They are really, really so fresh, and they are very, very responsive.
But at 6 years old, are they able to express what sort of colors and what sort of feelings that they have from listening to these music?
In fact, when I started this, I tried on a lot of kids. I was amazed with their response. They can tell me that this sounds like blue. And blue, then they will tell me, oh, this was a blue sky, teacher, or this is a blue ocean, teacher, this is peaceful. What color is this? And I try on Andy as well. When they are small, and from there, I will let them listen. Listen, children. Okay, tell me, what is this? What does it? What do you think of when you listen to this one? They will tell me, teacher, this one sounds like a bit high speed chase on cars. This is like a sport car. Because there's some music now we trigger that. They tell me about speed. slow, fast,
Trigger
medium.
thoughts and emotions.
Yes.
So what happens in the next stage after the 6-year-olds?
Okay, at 7 to 12, well, since their kinetic are stronger, this is where we're going to build their kinetics, okay? So in modern music, for 7 to 12, we have our group ensemble courses where they will learn to play percussions and keyboard. But again, we will teach them to trigger, for example, saxophone sound from keyboard, okay? Because we can't possibly teach them saxophone or trumpet at that class, you see.
Right. So you're specifically teaching them these two instruments.
Yes.
If other students were to show tendencies towards other instruments, do they still do the program or take the lessons elsewhere and then do the program with you?
Okay, I do have a lot of cases where children, they took guitars, okay, but they're also in my program, okay. So I said, why not? You can also play your guitar inside. Because they have the same concept of what is my role as a guitarist in this
an ensemble.
group. Yes.
But
So
the guitar lessons specific would be provided by Modern Music, or would they have to do that elsewhere?
We have our own contemporary guitar teachers that actually has served as a backup as a solo teacher.
Right.
So then we will actually refer to the teacher. And then it was always a kind of very good thing if the kids can take up two instruments at the same time. They must play in ensemble in order to make them kind of like, they understand what's their role instead of playing alone.
Yeah, playing as a solo versus playing ensemble is a different mindset.
It is 10 times more, maybe 100 times fun to play in an ensemble with peers, going together and then
you're responding to all sorts of different moods.
Jam together.
Correct. That's the most important part. Is
notice the drummer says it's nice to jam again.
Yeah, that's right. That's the drummer speak. You've got it down.
Yes,
correct. From there, and then we will actually, come in to the next step, to the teenagers. So the teenagers part, we will require them to get in more details about how are you going to put in, how to orchestrate band parts. Ask them, they're going to check out the parts of that and then to study. Instead of playing and, just make a big noise of, noisy bins and everybody play at those very common band, those teenagers band. We would tell them, educate them how to play. Know your part. You don't overlap the other part.
Karen, when you refer to an ensemble, what sort of groupings? Are we referring to groups of four, a bigger sort of orchestral type ensemble?
And what type of instruments?
We have a maximum of 7 kids in a group, okay? As what I said, all of them will know how to play keyboards. Yes. Because keyboard is a prime. They must know how to play. Yeah, fundamental. So we also tell them how to play percussions, how to fit in your tambourine parts in the pop section, and how to fit in the slow rock section, and how to fit in cowbells and everything. And another part is if they do want to play guitar, okay, since they have, we will recommend them to take some solo classes, and then they come in. So certain songs inside, during the class, they can play guitar if they want, even flute or violin. Right. Okay, but they must have the mentality of I am playing in an ensemble.
Yes.
So,
and because yes.
Yeah. So what we're getting is essentially, you're somewhat, conducting, within sort of a contemporary ensemble environment rather than, sort of doing it within sort of a classical setting, and they're playing contemporary music.
Yes.
And in addition to that, they're trying to figure out.
Yes.
Not only they're playing ensemble, but they've got to sort of feel and appreciate the music.
They will have to wait for each other. They have to understand what is the meaning of introduction, what is ending, what is interlude, and attacks.
Caroline, if I just may interject, when I had graduated from my Form 6 studies overseas, one of the core subjects I took was jazz studies. And every time I came back here, I explained, what do you mean jazz studies? What do you mean? And literally it is something similar to what Karen is talking about, where it's basically out of 5 days a week, we'll do 1 week of theory, but 4 days of essentially ensemble practice, where basically the jazz teacher is saying, look, you're playing too hard and heavy on that. Basically, they're prepping us up for an event performance so that you become world beaters, you become world-class musicians, so that
and you can fit in everywhere.
That you can fit in, and basically the taking off point from sort of high school onwards is a seamless process. So you're really training them young about what works, what doesn't work, how to be not only just musicians but performers as well.
That sounds like you're growing your own orchestra almost.
Absolutely.
For example, for the 3 to 6 years old, okay, actually we in fact at the end of the course we do have a genre course where we'll ask them to appreciate the characteristics of pop, rock, jazz, Latin. Actually, they can answer me. Actually, definitely no problem for them.
Yes, I think the crossover to that would be, in a traditional musical sense, would be the theory part of it. Yes. Where that is boring.
Yes,
I have to say.
In modern music, we do have a very small sections of theory part, okay? But again, because we want to make it fun, so there's a lot of picture graph that they will lead them, so they will have a very enough sufficient for them to enter into any music learning. They can get it very easily. Like we will give them fundamental understanding in theory.
Right.
Definitely.
So are there exams along the way?
Yes, we have exam that we will link it to the Australian Guild Examination Board. Okay, so they will take ensemble exam. That's the
the Australia again. I mean, this was basically where I sort of did the similar program over there as well. But no, what are they assessing on?
They will assess them through as an ensemble and also as a person, as a solo in an ensemble. So the marking sheet will based on how they fit in to the ensemble and do they coordinate well inside the ensemble.
Right.
So and the exam will take about 3 songs as well, usual. Okay, and then each level up to grade 8.
I see. And Andy, have you done these exams yet?
No.
Yeah, he did the solo most of the time.
I did the solo.
You've done a solo, so you're working your way towards the ensemble examination?
No. So far he hasn't yet.
I see.
The reason why is because I have a few of these adult kids, children's at teenage year. Well, I would say that the one I prepare the most is the 7 to 12 now.
I see.
Yeah, because at his age, he will have to get those non-modern music trained kids. Then it will be, it will be kind of like to start and it's like a few of them so far. So for my first batch of students, they're going to take this year is between 7 to 12.
And
most of them.
Karen, very quickly, how many students do you have currently under your wing right now?
We have 400 plus. And the number is growing.
There you go.
Yes,
there you go.
400 plus.
Well, wait your turn, kids.
Quite a stable. That's the Modern Music program we're talking about this evening. We'll be right back with, after this one actually, the Goo Goo Dolls and Iris, BFM 89.9. BFM 89.9, the business station. Caroline and Ezra here with you on the evening edition, talking about children development through music with Karen Ng of the Modern Music program, as well as student Andy Chia here with us.
Quick question, Caroline.
Yes.
Andy, what do you think of the drumming on that last song? Good.
It's nice.
Nice.
It's nice. Not too heavy. And
could you manage it? Would you be able to manage it?
Yes.
All right. We'll do it.
By hearing.
All right. We'll call the drummer of Goo Goo Dolls, tell him to get off his stool.
Okay. Now, off air, Ezra, you were relating your experience, basically going through music school and how it's different. Obviously, the syllabus that's offered in Australia, you were saying.
Yeah, and it, I guess, is similar to very much the program that Modern Music is providing. And I guess what's really interesting is very much the same principles of what Karen was mentioning, is that you're teaching them certain ensemble skills at a very young age, and hoping to sort of give them a head start by the time they reach tertiary education towards harnessing their majors and their specific disciplines in music.
Okay, so bringing it back home then, in your experience, Karen, because you've been doing it for a while now, as appreciation for musical intelligence over the years, maybe over the last 10-20 years, I mean, has it moved much? Has it evolved much?
Okay, now what I'm kind of like shocking sometimes when I go to a Malaysian schools or anything, I mean, compared to those private or maybe international schools, because I taught in both schools, I was like, when I get into international schools and I got into their syllabus and their musical learning and everything.
It's already integrated into the syllabus. I was
like, wow, hey, it's so fun. I never do this before when I was a small kid, They do anything. They learn African music, they learn Mexican music, everything. They know everything. And then they are so exposed to so many types of things. Whereas in our normal schools, we will most probably playing recorders, okay, or we sing a few songs and then we go back home and then okay, fine. And after later we don't have music education at all.
It's treated like a sort of an afterthought lah.
Yeah, I even remember when I was a kid, my teachers, when in school, okay, it is a music exam. They asked me, teacher, what should I do? You just sing any song. I don't know what to sing. Just sing anything. Can I sing Happy Birthday? And I just sang that song and she gave me an A for that. That is all. It was such a kind of a wasted period of time where kids actually can explore so many things. But by learning that, they learn culture of other cultures or other continents. They learn a lot of things, not only, sometimes in music, the singing, we have the culture of maybe the Hakka music of New Zealand, you
understand the origins of blues.
Yes, correct. Absolutely. The origins of this and the origins of Jamaican music and reggae and things like that. Well, it helps, when one go overseas, or maybe one day when you come with other friends from different countries,
you know how to relate to them.
You know how to talk. You have conversation. You know how to relate to them. That's very important.
Well, but that's the thing. in sort of the current scheme of
Yeah.
things, not only just music, I think,
Yes.
and Karen, you will agree, just generally the arts is not given much of an opportunity
Correct.
within the current scope of system,
Correct.
because you want kids to be able to express and experiment at that early age, so that they can do theatre, so that
Yes,
they can do
true.
music, so that
Yes.
they can do
Because
painting.
in
and
modern music, we do have a sections, the expressions in music, where we will actually trigger the kids to react to the scenario that we are playing. They have to do a drama for us. Well, happy, sad, angry,
So it
fear,
incorporates all
and things
different
like-
elements as
yes.
well.
And yeah, they have to. It's not because of drama class or anything, but they will react to and it was kind of like so kind of fun to see kids at 3 or 4 years old react the best to this, because they are not so scared about how to show their expressions.
Yes.
And when they reach 7, where I have kids at this age, and they reach 7, they are apparently just on the front line of everything. They lead because they are not shy, and most of them are.
They become
kind of-
extroverts
Yeah,
and stuff.
they just, hey, teacher, I want to do it. I'm not scared. At
And
all.
Karen, on that note, what are some of the, once they finish the program and they're obviously going on to other things, some of them pursue something in music,
Yes.
some of them move on to other things.
Correct.
Some of the positive stories
Yes.
that have come out of students who have come through the program,
Okay,
the big success stories, or any of those good stories, I guess.
I'm a lot
The
of
good
big
stories.
consolations for me is that a lot of my students who come under me, during the 10 years back, before I even have documented papers on modern music, well, a lot of them further their studies in music. And they come back, some stays overseas, they work for some organizations in music, some of them have their own business. They set up their music school. Well, they set up a network of them doing music, compositions and everything. Well, and I was very happy with them because, well, in fact, when they are a small kid, you never actually know that they will be in this line one day.
It's very satisfying to see.
Yeah.
And Andy, what are your hopes in terms of what you want to do post?
I just
music?
want to be a performer in a live
Concert
band.
drama.
Yes.
Yes, I want to be a concert.
And are you looking at something specific? What sort of genre? What are you looking at specifically? Are you looking to play in an orchestra, or playing in a band, playing in the band, like rock band. Yes. We were talking
Because it's cool.
because it is cool. I mean, I'm trying to figure out what it is to be 19 again. But of course, we mentioned I asked
Well, of
you.
course, drummer is enjoying jamming all the
Yes,
time.
Absolutely, those drum rolls. But I was asking him before, what's his favorite band? He goes, Beyond.
Yes.
All right.
All right, so that's it for this evening. Children Development Through Music. Andy Chia and Karen Ng, thank you very much for joining us this
Okay,
evening.
thank you, Caroline.
Thanks.
Yes,
Thanks, guys.
Thank
All
you.
right, on that note, we're wrapping up with Whatever by Oasis here on BFM 89.9.
Thank you for listening to this podcast. To find more great interviews, go to bfm.my or find us on iTunes. BFM 89.9, the business station.